Hello, welcome to the channel Try Yogi. I'm Vinit, and today we have another timeless pickacard reading on how will your future spouse treat you. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce 31st of January, I am offering my astrology course. So sign up for that. You can hit me up on my email or my Instagram. My details are given in the description box below. My courses are long. It's not a one-day workshop. It's for 2 months. If you want to take an intuitive approach to understanding your birth chart, reading for yourself, reading for others, and getting the predictive value for it, come learn. This is your time. I'm very happy to teach, and you're really welcome to come join the coven and join, the wizardry classes. So come learn. And I'm also offering personal readings. You're very welcome to get a personal reading from me. I will very happily look at your birth chart as a part of the reading. And I am increasing my rates starting January 1st. So you have a few days to get your readings in at the same rate for my new and old clients. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It would really help me with the engagement on the channel. And thank you so much for all the love, all the sweet comments, all the donations. I really appreciate all the love that you guys pour into me, and I'm genuinely so grateful for being able to do what I do on a daily basis. So thank you for the love and the support. And now let's begin this reading on how will your future spouse treat you. We have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1 is the Hermetic Tarot. Pile number 2 is our trusted Rider-Waite-Smith. And pile number 3, I have a new deck, so you guys would stop burning me at the stake in the comments. I think it's called the Arcane Tarot. So we have a new deck for my viewers. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, remember, these are general readings. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you do like my style of reading, please do like the video, share, subscribe, comment, hype the video for me. Hit me up if you want to learn astrology. Hit me up if you want to get a personal reading, and I will see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Hermetic Tarot, this is your reading on how will your future spouse treat you. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce 31st of January, I will be offering my astrology course. So do sign up for that. It's going to be a 2-month course. We will be together for a while. It's not a one-day workshop. If you have the time, if you want to learn, you're really welcome. Come join. It's going to be phenomenal for sure. And I'm also offering personal readings. You can hit me up for that as well. I will very happily look at your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And I am increasing my rates starting January 1st. So you have a few days. Get your readings in before the new year. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It would really help me with the engagement on the channel. And honestly, thank you so much for all the love that you guys keep pouring into my life. Thank you for all the donations. I really appreciate all the love that you guys give me all the time. Thank you. And now let's begin this reading on how your future spouse will treat you. We have the Devil, we have the High Priestess, we have the Ace of Wands, and we have Princess of Cups. Firstly, you guys definitely have a very intuitive connection, I will say that. And you're very connected in the 5D, in the 4D. Your souls know each other across lifetimes, and I do think you are nearing the point of your first contact in this physical world. So there's a lot of awakenings happening in your life. I think you've gotten more attractive, and you're getting more confident, and you're just fired up more than ever before. And I do think you're going to be really glorious before you meet your future spouse. Because when they see you for the very first time, firstly, I think they will approach you. You could have Venus in the first house for sure. People will ask you out. You'll never have to ask anyone out. So your person will approach you, and I do think there's going to be this hypnotic obsession. Honestly, we have the devil card, and this is a very funny devil. He's smiling. So, and I'm just noticing the eyes over here, and eyes of an animal are very, very important to its evolution. And I'm not trying to digress, I'm trying to make a point over here. A lot of predators, they have vertical slit in their eyes, as it helps them pinpoint exactly where the prey is. And prey have a very horizontal pupil, which helps them perceive attack if it's coming from down or close up or from far distances. And I do think there is this predator prey like energy that you're going to have with each other, and it's just going to develop into this crazy devotional obsession. I think your future spouse is going to be very, very possessive over you, and they will go to war over you. So if you want someone nonchalant, that's not going to be your person. You're meant to be with someone extremely romantic, extremely obsessively possessive about you. And we have the Ace of Wands. So, there's going to be a lot of passion. You or your future spouse could have Venus and Rahu together, or Venus and Mars together. So, there's going to be a lot of lust. There's just going to be a lot of lust, and your person is going to match your freak. Let's just say that. Your person will match you in the bedroom in every sort of a way. And I think you're going to have a very private relationship. You're going to be very away from like the world and the noise, I feel. You're going to have these very passionate, quiet, intense moments, and it's not just crazy obsession. We have the Princess of Cups, so there is a lot of love, and your person is going to treat you like their baby. You're going to be like your person's baby. And I do think they're going to be the more masculine, they're going to be the more protective one. And you will obviously protect them in the spiritual, but they're going to really treat you like a baby and like a child. So there's going to be that angle over there where they do spoil you, they do pamper you, and they just give you a lot of love over here. Even in the bad times, your person is going to be very loving. Your person is going to be very supportive. Your person will never let you feel the worry of even having less, even on those bad days. Not like they will come a lot, but even in the bad times, they will never let you feel the the emptiness and the drought of it. Your person will always keep you very happy and abundant. And there's just a black dog walking around. And the funny thing is, I found out that the black dog is called Kali. So I do think you have the goddess's blessing over here. You have Ma Kali's blessing in your relationship, and there is going to be that very intense angle. You could have Scorpio in the 7th house, or you could have Aries in the 7th house. You have a very Martian 7th house, or you could have Mars or Saturn in the 7th house in your D1 or your D9. So relationships have always been very explosive, very volatile. And even you could have Venus or Rahu also in the 5th house. Or you could even have Venus in the 6th house, because you definitely have some unfinished karma with your person. So there's a lot of that. And your person will take care of you, because, I've become really fond of dogs lately, and I've started like taking care of the dogs where I live. And, she had a little problem. So, I called the vet in to take care of her. So your person is going to be very on top of it. Your person is going to be very protective. They will take care of your health. If anything goes wrong, they will always be there. If you're in debt or any trouble, your person is going to be like that savior to you. They will have the right resources, and they will have the right contacts and the networks to get you what you need. Your person is going to be really good at that. I do think your person is a mastermind. They do have I wouldn't say a dark side, we all do have a dark side, but your person is very calculative and they're very intuitive in a very logical way. They can assess situations and possible outcomes and choose the best one, and usually they choose the right option every time. Because when the King of Swords, he slays using the sword, he just needs one strike because he's that experienced. He's the king. He will not miss. And what's funny is, in my rear view mirror, I can see a cat. Isn't that crazy? You got a dog and a cat in your reading. So you're very, very blessed. And the cat was, she was like on her paws and she was trying to do some acrobatics. And now she just literally jumped off a wall. What a diva. So, there's going to be a lot of. You could even have like cat and dog fights, but it's going to be very intense. It's going to be very loving. And at the end of the day, you will never give up on each other, and it's going to really bring you together. And I'm reminded of this music video, the Florence one. I don't remember the name. I think it was What Kind of Man, where they're driving and she like tells her partner that going through disastrous things brings us together more, and she feels it it strengthens the bond in a way. And I'm just paraphrasing over here, but and then they get hit by a car, and I do think that is a big metaphor over here, because when you do meet your person, you will be going through a lot of ups and downs as usual, as everyone does, but it's going to be a very spiritual kind of love that is going to feel like you're burning, but the burning is what is going to purify you and bring you together. So again, there is that very intensity in the love, and the love will transform you. We change being in relationships. We absolutely do, So you will be embracing that even more. You will be unlocking a version of yourself that you doesn't even know exist yet, So you will be doing things that you've never done before, and in a way you'll be able to come back to your childlike self, because I don't think you've had a childhood. Pile number one, you had to grow up very fast. You could have Saturn in the first, Saturn in the fourth, Saturn in even you could even have a Saturn Ketu conjunction in any of the houses. Maturity has, you've not had a choice over there, and you are a hard worker, and you are a hard worker, and the difficulties of life have taught you the discipline, the meticulousness is needed, your daily habits, your sixth house Virgo things. You're meant to have a very busy life, and if you don't have a busy life, pile number one, you're going to be miserable and you're going to feel a void. So till you're not onto your next own personal adventure, you will feel very empty. And only when you are on these adventures will you actually find your person, the actual person that you're supposed to marry over here. So it's a wild ride for sure. It's like a roller coaster, but into like 10,000. So it does feel intense. It does feel crazy, but you're not crazy. You're not noble in the best way possible, pile number one. And that's what you need to realize, that, there's a different kind of intensity to your life that you can't even explain to other people, and they would never get it. But because you have the capacity to go through it, that's why you're going through it. And the more you embrace this simple truth, that might upset you for a few days, but you'll be liberated by the end of it. And I do think this is a lot about you, And I think the more you learn this, I think your person is just around the corner and they will come in. It's like the release of the arrow. You let this go and you hit the target exactly. So there's a lot of, push and pull I feel in your energy. I do feel the tension, but we need to understand that the tension and the turbulence is where we exist. It's where all life happens. So just embracing that a little more is going to really help you. And we have the King of Pentacles. And what is very interesting to me, and I'm just noticing this for the very first time, even though I've used this deck 10,000 times, the bull's horns, they look like a Mongolian bow to me. And I was just talking about, the release of the arrow. So I do think there is something to it. And, the bow is the feminine part and the arrow is the masculine part. So, you will fit together perfectly. And, every bow has a particular arrow that works the best for it, with its configurations, with how much pound the bow is. So, I think there's someone tailor-made just for you. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can say it. You could very much be with an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And I'm an Earth sign, so I'll be very biased and say that Earth sign men are the best. And I think they genuinely are, even objectively. So, Earth sign men are very reliable. You'll never have to worry. Like I said, your person is really going to take care of you. And I think your intuition will also increase. There'll be a hyper awareness in your intuition as well, and you're just gonna get super telepathic, you and your person. You're not even gonna have to talk. You will just understand each other, and I think you'll understand each other so much that when you do fight, you both will hit below the belt. So you will have that kind of love. It's gonna be intense. See a lot of passionate fighting and a lot of making up after that. So, and I know you yourself, you love the peace, but there is a part of you that wants this, pile number one, and you also have to realize this about yourself. There are a lot of repressed things within you too, that just by simply acknowledging would release a lot of this tension for you. That's what I feel. We'll shuffle some oracle using the Spirit Animal Oracle. So we have the Spider card for you. I love spiders. I mean, they're one of my favorite familiars. They've been just the most wonderful to me. And I've been seeing a lot of them lately. And what I love about spiders is, they create worlds. They create worlds. So, know your powers. Know what you can create. Know the realities you can create for yourself. Because the limits of your boundary of your ego and yourself will be expanding because of the more awareness that you'll be having for yourself. Even if you have a retrograde Jupiter, which I do think a lot of y'all do, you will be able to overcome those karmic things and again create your world how you want it. And what is crazy is I recently saw a dragonfly, and dragonfly are like the masters of the element of air. And I saw a dragonfly being stuck in a spider's web, and it was obviously not alive. But I was very mesmerized and I was very perplexed at the same time looking at that. And then I looked up that spiders do eat dragonflies. So know that you're the feminine and you have more power. And a lot of female spiders, they eat the male spider. It is just instinctual within them. I mean, we could call it cannibalism, but it's not that, you know? It's really not that. So, if that's the intensity, then, you are the queen of it. And I think I don't even need to pull more cards over here. I think the message is very clear. Know your power over here and be more mindful about the realities you're creating for yourself, because you are a lot more powerful than you think, my friend. You don't even know half the things you're capable of doing. And trust me, it'll be revealed to you. And I say this to my students about spiders. I do love spiders because, like I said, they're one of my familiars, yet they can be very vampiric and they can take from you something that you weren't willing to give up. So with spiders, you don't get to choose what you sacrifice. What the spider takes is what the spider takes, and you have to just be okay with it too. So understand the nature of the energy you're working with and also understand your true nature. You could be going through your Rahu Mahadasha, Rahu Antardasha, Rahu Pratyantardasha, and people will be mirrors to you and they will show you the darkest parts within yourself. But only through that will you truly know who you are, and I think that is what is going to lead you to finding your future spouse. And I do think they're around the corner. I would say not more than a year, 8 to 10 months, honestly. I think you're very, very close. You've built your webs, and the target is near for sure. That's what I would say. Yeah, that's what I have for pile number 1. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. If you want to learn astrology, sign up. If you want a personal reading from me, hit me up. I am increasing my rates from Jan 1st, and I'll see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, this is your reading on how will your future spouse treat you. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce 31st of January, I am offering my astrology course. So do sign up for it if you're interested in learning. It's going to be intensive. It's going to be for 2 months. It's not a one-day workshop. If you have the time, if you want to dive into the esoterics, come learn, come join. And I'm also offering personal readings. I would very happily look at your birth chart as a part of the personal reading, and I'm also increasing my rates starting Jan 1st, so you have a few days to get your readings in before the New Year's, before the rates go up. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It would really help me with the engagement on the channel. And thank you so much for all the lovely sweet comments, all the love, all the donations. I really appreciate all the love. Thank you. And now let's begin this reading on how will your future spouse treat you. And 2 of Cups is the first card, so I think we are off to a good start. Okay, wow, so you will not believe. We have the 2 of Cups, we have the Sun card, and we have an extra card that I've kept in the deck that I take as the Sun card. So you got 2 Sun cards. You got 2 Sun cards, pile number 2, and you got the Knight of Wands. I don't even think I need more cards. I think your future spouse is just going to be your best friend, your lover, your husband, your everything in one. Your person is really going to be your person. I think you could have Rahu in the 7th in your Navamsha or your D1 chart. Your person could also have that. You could have the same Rahu placement, and I strongly feel for both of y'all, the Rahu is in the 7th house. You both are very unconventional. You're going to choose a partner that's very unconventional, and because of the unconventionality, you both will get along. You could even have maybe Sun in the 7th house, because we have 2 Sun cards. So there's going to be some unconventionality to your partner and you too. And it'll be like opposites, but you'll fit perfectly together. Yet I do feel there's going to be a lot of ego in the relationship from both the ends, because your person is your own mirror. So how unhealed you are will be reflected back to you in your partner. And you both will be pushing each other to heal and to improve and to really make the love more pure. So that there is a lot of love for sure. Even if there are going to be ego clashes, it's going to end up always in the Two of Cups. Honestly, which is the best card to get in a love reading. Like, come on. You know, they're exchanging cups and it's an equal exchange. And they are a match. You know, a match made in heaven, if not Tinder, you know. So it's going to feel like that. You're going to feel like a match made in heaven, and you will just feel a lot of things will be predestined, you know. And someone asked me recently, you know, that do I think how much is destiny true and how much is our own free will or our actions, you know. And I think they're both tied, is what I said. And I do think maybe it's 60% destiny and 40% our own actions, you know. So I do feel you have fixed karma with your person. There are certain things that you'll just not be able to escape, and there are certain things that you will be going through together. But despite all the odds, you'll be coming together, and despite the turbulences and the pain and the suffering that you know, the downs and the ups that you will have in your relationship, it's only going to strengthen your bond, and it's only going to make you feel like, yes, you know, you've chosen the right person over and over again. So, but I do think you'll trigger each other a lot. I do see a lot of fights. I do see a lot of arguments, you know, but it's always going to end up in like a makeup session. So there's going to be intensity, and there's going to be fights, and there's going to be a lot of love over here. But your person is a king, and your person will treat you like a queen or a king, you know. So there's going to be that balance, I would say, between you both. And I just had like a cyber truck pass the road. So I do think you will have a very unconventional life and a very unconventional car that you or your person could drive, you know. So I definitely see that over here. I see the Fool card. So there's going to be a new beginning in your relationship. You know, after marriage, things are going to really change. I do think you'll get along with your in-laws as well. You're going to have a good relationship with them. And I got the Queen of Swords. So I'm not saying that it's going to be crazy disagreements and separation, but I think your person is going to teach you how to be a fighter. You could have a debilitated Mars in Cancer, or Mars in the 4th. Or maybe Mars in the 7th. Mars in Libra. Or your Mars could be retrograde. So please check your chart, you know, D1 or D9. And there are certain lessons, and I'm sure 2025 has been a very interesting year for you, even though my readings are timeless. You know, I'm doing it at the very tail end of 2025. So it's been the year of Mars, and I'm sure you've had some very interesting conflicts this year by number 2, and your person is going to make you more courageous. Your person is going to really make you fearless, and they're going to push you to really become the best version of yourself. And I do think you have a lot of main character energy. You have a lot of star energy. You're meant to outshine, and you're meant to stand out, and you're meant to have your own thing going on, you know. You don't need a clique, you know. You're like a solo act, you know, it's not a girl group. So even if it's a girl group, you know, you're the Nicole of the group, you know. So your person is going to really be the supporter behind and backstage, you know, and really support you and love you and give you what you need. So your person is going to elevate you in every sort of a way. And it's going to be a very harmonious love relationship, but also a partnership and a business partnership. I do think you'll be making Benjis, you'll be making money in different currencies with your future spouse. For sure. I think both of y'all will be very driven to make a lot of money, especially after the marriage. And would you believe the card that I pull is the star card? So I think I'm bang on. You know, you are the star by number 2, and it's giving a little Marilyn energy too. I'm not gonna lie, and you could even have crazy Dhanishta placements. You know, the last degrees of Capricorn and the early degrees of Aquarius. So there is that stardom to you, and money comes very easy. And I think you're going to make a lot of money after marriage. Your future spouse could have Venus in Aquarius or Venus in the 11th house. You know, they will make a lot of money after marrying you, and they're going to even treat you better. They're going to treat you even more. They're going to treat you even, you know, like the royalty and the star that you are. And we also have the Temperance. So they will protect you. They will be like a guardian angel overlooking you and taking care of you. You will truly feel seen. I don't think you've felt seen in your relationships. I think you'll truly feel seen in this relationship particularly, and you're going to be very pleased in every way with your future spouse. You know, you're going to be very, very, very happy. Yeah, Knight of Cups. I just don't feel I have anything to say in this reading. It's all going to be sunshine and rainbows for you. Or if you don't like sunshine, if you like moonshine, then moonshine and moonflowers for you, you know? And funny, I got the 7 of Pentacles. So, take your time with it. You know, there's no hurry to be in love. You know, when it's time, it's time. You'll not be able to escape your person. So, if you have some solitude right now, treat it like a luxury and a privilege and make the most of it. Because when you have your partner, you will be busy. You know, even if you're someone who likes to be alone, you will want to be every day with your person. Trust me. You know, love does that. And I think when you will be together, you're gonna get very naughty for sure. We have the Ace of Wands. So I mean, you know, we keep it cute on YouTube. But there's gonna be a lot of transformation. Love is gonna really transform you both. And it's gonna be very healing. You'll feel very comforted. You'll feel very comforted and you'll feel very nourished. I think that's the best word. Yeah, you'll feel very nourished in every aspect of your life, being in love with your person. And you will just know because everything will be going good in your life, having your person. And I'm not saying there will not be bad days, but you'll see a growth in every aspect of your life when your person comes in. And that's how you will know. Because a lot of people ask me, you know, how will I know that this is my person? And my answer to that is you would just know. You know, yes, you know, we do make mistakes in love and we choose the wrong people, but when it is the person that we're going to marry, I think there is just clarity. I don't even think there is a doubt. You know, if you're doubting too much, then maybe it's not the person. Because, trust me, you would have no doubts about who your person is once they are in your life. And I would say maybe they're 1.5 years, maybe 2 years away. I do feel there is a little time, and I don't think 1.5, 2 years is a long time anyway. I do think that is very little time anyway that you have to yourself before your person comes in. So till then, just roll up your sleeves and do your best work, I would say, if you're single over here. Because when it's gonna rain, it's gonna pour, for sure. And everything that you've missed out, you know, you'll get it back in your life. We have the Tower and the King of Swords. I think your person will come in suddenly. And I do think they're going to be the active one. You know, they will be the one calling the shots and making things happen. And I do think they're going to be the one who asks you out, you know. So you're not going to have to do much. You're just going to have to be at the right place at the right time. And it's divinely orchestrated, so you will be there, you know. And I'm hearing damsel in distress. So at least that's the way maybe your person will perceive you, or maybe you'll be put into a situation where you need some help, and your person will just magically be around the corner, and you know, you both will just hit it off. So that's what I'm seeing. Pile number 2. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, and the Magician. You understand you have to do the work right now, and you have to be the standout star that you are, and soon you will be in power couple energy. And you know, when you are in power couple energy, people will try to rip you apart, people will try to break you apart, but they will not be very successful, you know. And more levels, more devils, the more famous you are, the more people will fight you, the more people will have issues with you, right? Because more people will know you. And most people aren't happy with their lives or who they are. So they would rather, you know, be in your business or hate watch you or whatever, right? So regardless, they are a fan, a very passionate fan nonetheless, you know. So it's just about perception over here, pile number 2 for you. And I think your person has been trying to manifest you, and I think you're also trying to manifest your person. And but I do think timing is at play over here, because you know, when the time is ripe, the fruit, it falls from the tree. And just today morning, you know, I had my Datura bloom 2 days ago. It bloomed on the last new moon of the year. You know, it bloomed in December, and it just fell out into the pot 2 days later. And I took it as a blessing, and I kept it in my personal grimoire. So, you know, things will fall off at the right time, and you will be able to take it for yourself and keep it forever, you know. So don't rush things. And life is going to feel very different after marriage. You'll be very happy, you'll be very pleased, you'll be getting all your desires fulfilled, all of them, even the desires you didn't know you had. And your person, like I said, is going to be the backstage supporting, loving husband slash manager. You know, your person is going to be very protective, and they will also refine what you're doing. They will help you refine what you're doing, not in a way where they get credit, but they just really want you to do the best and be the best. And your person will definitely come in and help you be those things. You need someone like that who is going to pour into you, because I think you've poured into a lot of your relationships. Pile number 2. Shuffle some oracle. Okay, pile number 2, you have a very interesting card. We got the tarantula for you. And what is crazy is pile number 1 had the spider. So, you know, we're getting a lot of arachnids in the reading today. And with the tarantula, I feel firstly, you know, it's representing the element of fire over here. And I do think soon you will have to make a choice, a decision that will have to be made. And see, there's never a wrong choice, because even if you make the wrong choice, it'll redirect you to the right choice regardless, even if you're taking a more long-winded path, right? And tarantula, they're more terrestrial, you know. They bury and they burrow. So maybe you need to retrieve, go back into yourself, and remember why you're doing what you're doing, and be in the flow of doing your things. Because if you fall out of flow, then you will not be able to maintain the flow of things and the high level of productivity. You know, when you ask a lot of highly productive people how are they able to produce so much, They'll definitely have a lot of sixth house Virgo placements for sure, or Capricorn placements for sure. But it's not just that, it's learning to optimize yourself to the best, where you're able to do a lot without exerting most amount of energy, doing maximum things on least exerted energy. And I do think you'll be mastering yourself that way before your person comes in. And I do think the tarantula spirit is really helping you right now climb to the top the way you want to. And even if you get sidetracked, even if you feel you're making the wrong decision, just know you have your inner sonar that will always lead you, the whale, your inner sonar that will always lead you to where you need to be. Because whales use the electromagnetic frequencies in the, I think it's in the stratosphere somewhere, and they're able to navigate their way north at the changing of the seasons. So even the deep darkness where sun and light doesn't penetrate, you're able to find your way, pulling the energies and drawing the energies from the heavens into the depths that you're living in. In the darkness, you are the illumination, Pailamatu, and you can get a lot done, more than you can think. You are, after all, an army of one. These little otters, they build such huge dams, and this is your energy. This is who you are. This is who you're meant to be. To push through just the heaviness and the pressure of the deep waters, to come to this efficient productivity. And I do think you'll meet your person through work. Since we're talking so much about all of this, I do think the person you'll marry is someone that you're going to meet through your work, or while you're working the most in your life. So if you're being lazy and consistent, you're not helping yourself, Pailamatu. You need to be at your optimum. And I'm not saying you always have to perform your best, Take some days off, but never give up and continue to strive and do your best. And we have these moments of focus and we lose it and then we get it back. So just try to be in that flow more. I think the more you are in flow, the faster you'll be able to magnetize your person to you. Yeah. That's all I have. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest of you. Like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. I would really appreciate that. And I am offering my astrology course starting 31st of January. Sign up for that. And I'm also looking at your personal readings. I'll look at your birth chart as a part of the personal reading, and the rates will be increased starting Jan 1st in a few days. So get your readings in before the new year, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Arcane Tarot, the new deck, this is your reading on how will your future spouse treat you. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce that 31st of January, I will be offering my astrology course for the very first time. So if you're interested in learning astrology from me, come learn. You're very welcome. My course is for 2 months. I am offering my astrology course starting 31st of January. My courses are long, there for 2 months. It's going to be intensive. If you have the time, if you want to learn, if you want to dive into the esoterics, you're really welcome to come join. I'm also offering personal readings. I will very happily look at your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And yeah, I'm also increasing my rates starting Jan 1st. So you have a few days, get your readings in. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. I would really appreciate that. It would help me with the engagement on the channel. And thank you for all the lovely, sweet comments, all the love. I genuinely appreciate all the love. Thank you. And now let's begin this reading on how will your future spouse treat you. Okay, pile number 3, we have the Page of Pentacles, we have Knight of Pentacles, we have Two of Wands, Ten of Swords, when you have the Page of Swords. And if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, Page of Pentacles is Paris from the Battle of Troy, who literally went to war for Helen. So your person will rally the dark forces for you. Your person is that intense and that, like I was saying, your person will rally the dark forces for you and go to war for you. There is that deviance within your person for you. You know, you really drive your person crazy, and I do think there's going to be something very taboo in this relationship. Maybe there's an age thing, or there's a cultural difference, race difference, maybe if it's a same-sex thing. Whatever is the situation over here, against all odds, you will be coming together. We do have the Knight of Pentacles. Things will be very slow moving. I think your person is a very practical kind of person. You're definitely going to marry an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and I'm not being biased as an earth sign, but earth sign men are the best. You know, always choose an earth sign man because they're going to be slow, steady, reliable, and it's really solid. And I do think you want someone who's very solid in your life. And your person's love language is going to be a lot of pragmatic things. You know, they'll provide, they'll take care, they'll protect, and they will also love. But they might not be super emo, and they might not be super talkative. I think your person is very, very practical, and they like dealing with problems. And I think they'll be really good at problem solving, and they'll be very good with technical skills. You know, your person has a very beautiful Mercury. They could have Mercury in the 6th. But your person is phenomenal with their words, with speech, with written stuff, with technical knowledge. I think they're hyper specialized in a few arts, I would say. Your person is really talented and really good, and they will never make you feel demeaned, but they will really make you feel super loved. I do think your person is going to be dominating. I do think your person is going to dominate you a lot. And Ten of Swords and Page of Swords. Your person will have a very piercing gaze. They will really, really study you. And I only think this relationship is going to come after a lot of deep transformation. You know, you could definitely be a Taurus ascendant. You definitely have Scorpio in the 7th, or like Mars in the 7th, or there's some malefic energy in your 7th house, or your Venus is afflicted for sure. And I feel a lot of y'all have Venus Algol, which is 2 degrees of Taurus in sidereal astrology and 24 degrees in Western astrology. There's definitely a strong Algol connection over here, and there will be a lot of endings and beginnings in the relationship. You could even have planets at 22 degrees, but it's giving this very intense sort of a love. And I do think you've been in situations where you've had to be the killer, or you've had to, you know, be killed. And you've really had to be the killer over here by number 3. I really see that, and it's not been easy. It's definitely been a task. And I do think you attract such partners who do give you a tough time, but your future spouse will not give you a tough time. Your future spouse is going to be very loving. But I do see a lot of upheavals. I see a lot of back and forth. I see a lot of misunderstandings and fights. I think at the beginning, I think a lot of people are also going to try to tear you apart because you're going to be just that power couple. You know, people, trust me, a lot of people don't want to see people in love. You know, most people don't want to see people in love because they know they don't have the capacity to love, you know, especially if it's a taboo thing, you know. But regardless, your relationship is protected, and I'm also getting strong 6th house energy. So even if you have a lot of enemies, your enemies will never prosper. Your enemies will never triumph over you. You know, you'll always overcome your enemies. And I think initially there might be some issues. Your person might not choose you, might not be able to choose you, but you will be overcoming these things because I do have the 3 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. So So there will be a little back and forth. There'll be maybe choosing the wrong people, but being redirected to each other regardless, because you're meant to be with each other over here. Pile number 3. So there's a very strong energy for that over here as well. 5 of Swords. You will have fights. You are going to fight each other, and only you will know how to really get under your person's skin, and only your person will really know how to get under your skin. So you definitely have an empty 7th house, a malefic Venus, 7th Lord in the 6th house, any of these crazy combinations, retrograde Venus, combust Venus, and love is supposed to be explosive. Love is supposed to be the place where you have the most lessons, and you also experience the most karma for you. And see, it's the Venusian things that we really get stuck on, we are moved by art, and we are moved by love, and those are the things we go to war for. Nobody cares about other things. Nobody cares. It's mostly love that people care about, right? And it's what we can't get over easily. We cannot get over Venusian things, and Venus rules over life and death. So there is that strong intensity to your relationships, and the more you embrace that, the easier things will be for you. Pile number 3, and it's just the truth you have to accept. And I do think you're meant to have multiple lovers in this lifetime. And I don't mean to say that you're loose in any sort of a way. You're karmically meant to have a lot of partners and learn from them. You're karmically meant to have a lot of partners, and you're meant to learn from them. And again, it's a strong alcohol energy. You have to, if you don't learn to use the poison against you, it will be used against you. Again, getting strong Ashlesha energy. It's not easy. Your life path has not been easy. You are an old soul. And there's a lot of karma you have to clear before you do meet your person. And I'm not saying your relationship and your marriages are going to be doom and gloom, but it is going to be intense. It is going to transform you. It is going to change you. And you will marry someone who's truly an equal to you. And I think deep down, all the partners that you've had, they've never been equals to you. You've just been with them because you've been with them. And if they've troubled you so much, imagine the pain your partner's going to give you, and also the pleasure, but also the pain. Your person is going to be an equal to you in every sense of the way. They're going to really bring out the best and the worst in you. And there's going to be a lot of possessiveness. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. There's going to be a lot of wanting to love each other and hate each other and love each other more at the same time, I think your person will also tease you a lot. I do think your person is a prankster. Yes, they're very pragmatic and very pious and very serious and sincere, but with you, they're going to be very jokey. They're going to make a lot of jokes and be really funny, and really teach you to have a good time. So if there are a lot of fights, there's also going to be a lot of making up immediately and understanding each other at a deeper level. Those are the things that is going to occur over here. And I think being in this marriage, you'll also learn and realize your true power. I think your meditative abilities are going to increase. Your ability to perceive things are going to increase. And because of the conflicts, you're going to become more centered. You're going to become more meditative. You're going to get more spiritual and more religious. Because you cannot just continue to be spiritual without being religious. Somewhere we have to make peace with God, Goddess, whatever we believe in. We have to maintain that relationship. And I do think you'll get very spiritual after your relationship. You could have Jupiter also in the 7th house, and I'm sure your D9 or your person will have that. But you both will be like each other's spiritual gurus. You're going to give each other that spiritual knowledge that is needed to expand your consciousness and to free yourself from your karmic debts and to burn through. Again, I got the Knight of Swords. I'm not getting a lot of cups for you. I mean, I did get some cups for you. I did get 2 of cups. And I got 3 of cups. But I'm mostly getting swords for you. So your person is going to refine your mind. Your person is going to make you the most best version of yourself you're meant to be. And I'm not saying that you'll not be able to be the best version of yourself without your person, but your person will really come in and help you refine things to make you the best at what you do and to even do more. So you're both going to have an equal partnership, and it's going to be very loving, very intense, very true. And I don't think you'll be able to hide from your person. I think that's what I'm trying to say all this while. I think you've been able to hide in your previous relationships. I don't think people you've been with have been able to truly see you for your own depth. And even your dark parts you've been able to hide very well. But with your spouse, with your husband, with your wife, you're not going to be able to do that. They will see through you. And they will clock you. And you will clock each other. And there'll be a lot of fights about it. But you will overcome it together as a family. So it's going to be very wholesome. It's going to be a very fulfilling relationship for you. And I do think once you have your person in your life, you're just not going to have time for anything. I barely think you'll have time for your friends, I'm being very honest, because you are meant to experience this all-consuming love. You will become a unit. You'll not be separate. So those are the kind of things that are promised for you, and together you'll also come out of difficulties and rise to the top. And that's why the difficulties are there for you to become the best power couple you can be. And I do think you will be a power couple. You will be very known. Like I said, a lot of people will try to get in the way. A lot of issues will come up, but you will only triumph. And listen to your intuition. I think your intuition is going to be your best friend. And to maintain that sort of inner stability you have, therefore, even the financial stability you've gained for yourself, I think you have to be very clear on those things. Listen to your intuition, and if things are not clear, just peace out, go within, ask yourself what do you truly want, and then go after whatever you truly desire. Because once you are relentless about something, you will always gain that. You will always win, and you'll always overcome. So don't undermine yourself at all. I think you're going to become a real lioness. Even if you're a guy, you're going to become a real lioness after marriage. And it's the lioness that protects. It's the lioness that hunts. It's the lioness that maintains the community. And they protect the cubs from other lions. So you're going to be very alpha in your marriage, even if you're the feminine, fair to your situation, but you're going to be the one in charge, and you're going to be the very ferocious one in the marriage. You're going to be very, very protective to it, and so will your partner. Your partner, like I said, is your equal. But your person will definitely help you attract your lioness energy. Yeah, your person will make you take actions. Knight of Swords. You're going to be very active about your dreams. You're not going to procrastinate. You're not going to be wasting any time to get what you want and what you deserve. You're going to really go after it and make it happen for yourself. That's what I feel. Okay, pile number 3, we did get the lion card, so I was right. You did get that lion energy. And what is interesting, we also have the zebra. We have the predator and we have the prey over here. There is going to be this cat and mouse game, this cat and dog game, this predator and prey game that you'll be playing with your person. And I think even the roles will be reversed from time to time. But that is what you need, and there's going to be this deep communication. You're going to be very telepathic with your person, and again your clairvoyance will be awakened. We have my my very own sweet, sweet little barn owl. And we have the black egg. I was going to say the cosmic egg, but we have the black egg and the cosmic egg. Let's just take that too. There's going to be renewal, there's going to be revival, and there's going to be a deeper awakening of the senses. And I do think your intuition, because we also got the high priestess and we got the owl, you know, there's something about your intuition. I think a lot of y'all are psychics. Whether you're like a full-blown reader or you do therapy or whatever you do over here, you're a healer, you are a psychic. Life is supposed to be difficult for you so you would learn your lessons and help other people. You know, that's why you always had a higher level of difficulty. And I think the more you give, the more you will get. The more selfless action you do, the more you just give, the more you will receive in this lifetime. That's what you need to know. And I think it's the same for your love, you know. And what is very interesting is I just saw someone cross the road and all the dogs are barking at the person, and it really reminds me of the Fool card, but the original Fool card in the tarot, the Mato Fool card, you know, where we have this crazy person that is being chased by the dogs, and not the more, you know, the fluffy fool. Well, I wouldn't say fluffy, but the more, you know, refined fool that we see in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I honestly see a lot of spiritual enlightenment. I think you definitely have Ketu in the water houses or the water signs, and which means your Rahu is in the earth signs or the earth houses. You're meant to work very hard in this lifetime, and you're meant to get your moksha, you're meant to get your liberation in this very life. And I think all of that is being orchestrated. This is your last life on earth, pile number 3, and it's going to be very glorious. And you're definitely meant to have love once you close all these crazy chapters and go back to being the fool. But the fool that knows a little too much. And that's why he's the madman, not because he's actually a madman. He's mad to others because he knows too much, because they don't know enough. And when you know too much, to people who are ignorant, you look like the fool when you're the enlightened one. Deep. Pile number 3 is always usually deep. So, yeah, that's all I have. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, do like the video. Share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It would really help me with the engagement. I would really appreciate that. I'm offering personal readings. I will look at your birth chart. My rates will be increased from the new year, so you have a few days to get your readings in. And yeah, I'm also teaching my astrology course starting 31st January. Hit me up for that. Hit me up for a personal reading, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you.